we all know that Jimmy Butler's trolling with this hair color thing. You know, he's orange for the Suns, red for the Rockets, blue for the Mavericks, gold for the Warriors. He's trolling y'all. Let's take a look into the different trade possibilities involving these 4 teams and Jimmy Butler. What's good, YouTube? Welcome to another episode of Wrong vs. Right. I'm your host, Jay. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe below and hit that button. Today we're talking about the Miami Heat and Jimmy Butler. Who should they trade him to? Should they trade him at all? And what do I think is going to happen? Now you might be asking, why should the Miami Heat trade Jimmy Butler at all? Which is a valid question. The reason the Heat should trade Jimmy Butler is because they're not good enough to win this year. It's as simple as that. Let's get straight to it. The 4 teams that Jimmy Butler has interest in are the Suns, the Mavericks, the Rockets, and the Warriors. Let's first talk about the Phoenix Suns. The Phoenix Suns are led by Kevin Durant, Bradley Beal, and Devin Booker. The only way this trade really works out is if Bradley Beal and Jimmy Butler are involved in the trade. It matches up kind of 1-to-1. Bradley Beal makes $50 million a year. Jimmy Butler makes $48 million. Now, a key point about this deal is that Bradley Beal has a no trade clause, which means he can say, hey, I don't want to go to this team. I avoid this trade. I don't want this trade to happen. He has that clause, same as LeBron James, Bradley Beal, right? But nonetheless, he has that in his trade clause. On the flip side, why would the Miami Heat really want Bradley Beal? Even at 35 years old, Bradley Beal is not a better player than Jimmy Butler, in my opinion. Jimmy Butler is a better defender, he's a better playoff performer, and he's a better leader. The Miami Heat would also have to pay Bradley Beal $50 million for 2 more years. So I say all that to say, I don't think the Suns trade is going to happen, and I don't think that's going to get done. Moving along to the Houston Rockets. The Houston Rockets have a lot of valuable trade assets. They have draft picks. Houston is a team that's a true contender in the West, and they're looking to win this season. Any team that's looking to trade for Jimmy Butler is looking to win this season. They're looking to win now. Jimmy Butler's in the later stages of his career, so you're only going to get the best out of him for a few more years. So here's a trade scenario on paper that works for Jimmy Butler between the Houston Rockets and the Miami Heat. First, we got Dillon Brooks, Steven Adams, Reed Sheppard, and Tari Eason. These salaries match up to Jimmy Butler's, and this trade is successful, as you can see in the ESPN trade machine. Now you might say, why would the Miami Heat want Dillon Brooks and Steven Adams? The reason being, if you're going to lose a guy like Jimmy Butler, because he could walk in free agency this coming offseason. He could walk. You'd rather get something back for a guy like that as opposed to just let him walk for nothing. That's why I think this trade is a real possibility and why I think it could happen. Pat Riley's a smart dude and he wants to win championships. He doesn't want to let a guy just walk away for nothing. He's a businessman. This is a business, man. And then of course Reed Sheppard, who's kind of underperformed in his rookie campaign, but he has a lot of potential, the 3rd overall pick. He has high expectations. Tari Eason is a young guy that can play really good defense, and he's definitely an asset that the Houston Rockets have. I don't see the Rockets parting ways with guys like Amen Thompson. I think he's just too good, too valuable, too much upside. I actually think the Houston Rockets have a chance to get Jimmy Butler. All right, next the Dallas Mavericks. Here's why I think the Dallas Mavericks trade is just not possible. I really don't think this trade gets done without involving Kyrie Irving, and I don't see the Dallas Mavericks parting ways with Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving has been great for this franchise. He's found a new home. He's playing with a lot of energy. Seems like he really likes it in Dallas, and he actually fits well alongside Luka. Now, don't get me wrong. There's no perimeter defense on this team, so Luka and Kyrie are not interested in playing defense. I get that, but I don't see the Mavericks parting ways with Kyrie. So that's the main reason I don't think this trade is getting done. And then I don't think the Dallas Mavericks have enough valuable assets compared to the other teams that Jimmy Butler wants to go to in order to get this trade done. They have guys like Najee Marshall, Derek Lively. He's a great asset, but I don't think the Mavericks are going to get rid of him. He has too much upside. Daniel Gafford, that's possible, but his salary doesn't match up anywhere close to Jimmy Butler's. Quentin Grimes, Dwight Powell, Dante Exum. These are all NBA players. Don't get me wrong. They're good players, but they don't match up to Jimmy Butler, that caliber player. And when you have other teams that are better assets, it just doesn't make sense. Lastly, this brings me to the team that I think Jimmy Butler could realistically get traded to. The Golden State Warriors. Now you want to talk about a team that's in win now mode? That's the Golden State Warriors. Steph Curry is on the tail end of his career. I know he wants to get at least one more championship before he retires. The organization seems to be in line with that mindset too. Championship head coach is Steve Kerr, Draymond Green, he's a champion. The Warriors want to win right now. Now, I should preface this, any team that trades for Jimmy Butler, they're going to deplete their depth. So when the trade goes through, they're going to lose a lot of their depth on the bench. They're going to lose a lot of their role players. You have to do that when you got a guy like Jimmy Butler who makes a lot of money and who is a great playoff performer. When you trade for Jimmy Butler, you're really trading for playoff Jimmy. That's who you're really trading for. You're trading for his production and his ability to close games in the postseason when it really matters. So here's the trade that I propose for the Warriors and the Miami Heat. First, we got Andrew Wiggins, then we got DeAnthony Melton, Jonathan Kuminga, and Waters III. Now, important note, DeAnthony Melton is out for the season with an injury, so you're really just trading so the contracts match up. You're not going to get any production out of him from the Miami Heat. But again, that brings me back to my point. If you're going to lose Jimmy Butler, you'd rather lose him for something as opposed to losing him for nothing. Wiggins, Jonathan Kuminga, and Waters III, those are nice players. Especially Jonathan Kuminga, who's really coming into his own. He's starting on the Warriors. There's been speculation on whether or not, he's starting to get as a showcase for other teams, or if the Warriors really believe in him. Even though it's important to build young talent, the Warriors are in win now mode. So who really gives you a better chance to win now? Playoff Jimmy or Kuminga, Wiggins, and Waters? So if you pair Jimmy Butler with Steph Curry and Draymond Green, that's a tough team right there. And Jimmy Butler, you get a guy that's playoff tested, he's hard-nosed, he's a veteran, he shows up in big moments. That definitely changes the dynamic of the Warriors as they are constructed right now. That's another offensive option that you can rely on in the playoffs. Jonathan Kuminga is a bucket, don't get it twisted. But is he Jimmy Butler at this point in his career? I don't think so. You really have to think about when they're matched up with teams like the Phoenix Suns, the Denver Nuggets, OKC Thunder. Who do you really trust with the game on the line to make that defensive stop, to make that game-winning basket? You trust Jimmy Butler. So this right here is the trade I think the Warriors should make. I think the Warriors are going to be really aggressive this season to make a trade. They want to win now. They know Steph Curry is in the tail end of his career, Draymond Green. That franchise is craving for championships. That's what they do. That's what they've done in the past, and that's what they're looking to do this season. But hey, let me know your thoughts below in the comments. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Everybody can't be wrong and everybody can't be right. Where would Jimmy Butler get traded to? All right, I'm out.